Hi everyone, welcome to From Shambles to Shambhala for the month of August. And it's going to be a big one. There's all sorts of energetic alignments and disalignments going on throughout the month. So let's begin with the very beginning of the month, August 1st, Lunasa, the midpoint between the summer solstice and fall equinox, honoring the pagan god Lugh, who was the forerunner of Archangel Michael in the pagan tradition. Very much considered to be a warrior, spiritual warrior god, a magician, as well as someone who ruled the land, particularly favoured in Ireland. And Lunasa is the midpoint between the summer solstice and fall equinox, which falls on the 15th degree of Leo. So this year it actually doesn't happen until the 6th of August. So the whole period from the 1st to the 6th is a time for Lunasa to be celebrated. It's the early harvest. It's having fun and games in the sun, non-competitive, just for the sake of having fun with our friends. And so right inside that we have the new moon in new moon in Leo on the 4th of August. And that new moon is inviting us to set really clear intentions for ourselves for the next little while. And the new moon, the sun and moon together in Leo, is about shining our brightest light out in the world. As these powerful sun's rays come down, then it's asking us to be in our highest expression. And that then leads us into the Lionsgate portal, which actually opens on July 26th and closes on August the 12th. So this is the time in the year when Sirius re-emerges from behind the sun, and it rises earlier and earlier each day until we can see it before the sunrise. And that takes place during this time period in different locations on the planet, depending where you are. So the 888 Lionsgate portal is the sort of averaged time for this to take place. And there's always a big focus on this day across the world. This year it's the 2024 year, so it's an 8. So it's a triple 8 rather than an 8-8, August the 8th. So it's got an even greater expanded energy to work with. And Sirius is considered to be our spiritual sun, which then brings the spiritual energy through our sun from the higher realms, from the higher cosmos. So there's this gateway, this opening opportunity for us to receive these higher frequency codes coming down through from source, through the great central sun, through Sirius, through our sun, and into our world. So a great time to meditate at some point on the 888, opening your heart. The sign of Leo is all about the courage of the heart and the warm-heartedness. So opening your heart to that becomes really, really important. Now, simultaneously, on the 4th, Mercury turns retrograde. So Mercury is going to be retrograde from the 4th of August to the 28th of August, pretty well the whole month. So while we've got all this expansive energy through Leo and the sun and this brightness, the Mercury going retrograde in Virgo is saying now pay attention to the details. Make sure you have reviewed what's going on in your life. Make sure you are fully aligned with your true destiny, because there's going to be all sorts of energies cropping up this month that are going to be challenging. And the most challenging element of all is change. Change is inevitable. We can't avoid it. We need to go with it. So what you want to do in your own life is to be really clear on what changes you want to make. Because if you don't, one of the biggest energies are aspects with Uranus. And Uranus is saying to you is if you don't make the changes you need to make to set yourself free, then I'll make them for you. And so it can turn people upside down. So I really encourage you to get fully aligned with that Mercury retrograde, get aligned with that beautiful sun vibration with Leo, and be very clear on what your own alignment is, what your truth is, and the direction in which you want to take yourself. It's time for us to let go of all of the old roles that we have played in our lives and not allow other people's expectations of us in those roles to dictate to us. It's time now to create a blank canvas and set ourselves free and paint our own future according to our own values. And on that note, then it's time to bring Venus in, because Venus was in conjunction with the Sun a few weeks ago. And when she does that, on this occasion, she went behind the Sun. So we didn't see her at all for a few weeks. And then in that last week in July, she makes her reappearance as the evening star. So just imagine then, Venus has been reflecting and integrating all of the old energies, and now she re-emerges. She brings back with her the sacred feminine, and it's an opportunity for you now to look into your true values, your relationships, and your money, and to see what the highest expression of those elements of your life are with that assistance of Venus. And I hope that you can get to see her on a clear evening dark sky in the next few days, as she's just returned at this time. So then that takes us forward to another huge occasion, which is the full moon on August the 19th, which is the full moon in Aquarius. And on that day, there are two T-squares happening in the sky. T-squares are when planets come into opposition to each other, and then there's a planet at right angles. So one of them is the energy where we have Venus in Virgo. She will have just gone into Virgo. We've got Saturn in retrograde in Pisces, right at right angles to Mars and Jupiter in Gemini. And this is where things get really, really interesting, because the Mars and Jupiter conjunction in Gemini is basically saying anything can happen. They are expanding our ideas. They're expanding what's happening in the world. And then they're at right angles to Pisces and Virgo, Pisces being the free-flowing spiritual cosmic energies, and Virgo saying, well, let's wait a minute, let's keep this under control. So what we're being asked to do is to manage the craziness that's coming up. Then the other T-square involves the Sun and the Moon. So the Sun and the Moon will be opposite each other in Aquarius and Leo, and they're going to be at right angles to Uranus in Taurus. So Uranus is all about the sudden and unexpected coming up. So you can begin to see how, as we move into that 19th of August, anything could happen. So what we've got to do is to hold to that deep inner truth, that calm center, checking in with who we really are and how we're going to manage our way through all of this. Then moving on to the end of the month, two major events taking place right at the last 2 days of Aquarius. The first one is Venus will now come into a trine with Pluto. This is a really good, positive situation, because the transformational energy of Pluto is going to raise the energy of the sacred feminine in Venus. So Venus is going to be upgraded into a higher level of existence. It means our own sacred feminine within can also be upgraded and uplifted. So that's a really nice end to the month, except on the very last day of the month and the first day of the next month is Pluto finally retrograding back into Capricorn. So Pluto has been going backwards through early Aquarius, and it's now going to step back into Capricorn for the last time in 250 years. And it's going to be in Capricorn in the 29th degree, which is the final degree, until November the 19th. So we're likely to see some major completions taking place between September the 1st and November the 19th, as Pluto brings an end, completion, to all the old energies, all the old structures, all the old patriarchy. So we could see again a very disrupted time during that time. Then on November the 19th, finally, Pluto leaves Capricorn and moves into Aquarius for the next 20 years and will not be back in Capricorn for 250 years. So now this is saying to us, this is the time for the people to take over. Pluto in Aquarius is power to the people. Now we have to create new systems that actually work to support the people in the world and cherish and nourish humanity, letting go of all the old self-centered greed systems and setting ourselves free to live our lives in this absolutely magnificent and beautiful Mother Earth. She is taking over, so have absolute total trust and confidence in her and spend time out on her body enjoying the last month of summer as we can really deeply connect with her through the sun, through the earth, through our own hearts. So I hope you have a great month. Don't be surprised if strange and unusual things happen in your own life and in the collective and on a global scale. So many, many blessings, and I'll see you in September.